Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Michael from New Age Pipe Smokers. Today I'm going to be doing Pipe Smoking 101 for you new smokers. Now, everybody's got their own different ways, and this is mostly my own preferences, but when I have a friend that starts pipe smoking, this is what I always recommend to them. I like to start them out with a cob, because it's nice and cheap. You can get these things for $10. I have a forever stem on this, which I think they cost about $20, maybe a little bit more, and they're well worth it. It makes the pipe smoke a lot better, in my opinion. But a cob is a great way to start. They're cheap. If you don't like pipe smoking down the road, then your investment isn't that much. So that's the first thing you're probably going to want to get is a pipe. The second tool you're going to need is a tamper. This is a check tool. You could probably find them for 99 cents on Amazon. They have all the stuff that you need to smoke a pipe. They work really good. I have just a few of them sitting around. I have some nicer tampers also, but these things do work really well. They're not the best looking, but they're effective. Pipe cleaners. Now, pipes can be expensive, but pipe cleaners are very, very inexpensive. And if you clean your pipe after every use, just run a pipe cleaner down it, your pipe will last a very long time. This cob has probably been smoked hundreds, if not 1,000 times, and it's still got tons of life left in it. I mean, this thing's probably going to last me forever. Last thing you're going to need is some tobacco. Now, I'm recommending for all new smokers a ribbon cut English. And I picked Maltese Falcon because this is a very easy smoking tobacco. It packs easy, it lights easy, it stays lit for a super long time. It tastes really good in my opinion and will never ever burn your tongue. So if you wanted something specific, not just a ribbon cut English, which I do recommend, Maltese Falcon is a great beginner tobacco. And I've been smoking pipes over a decade and I still love this stuff. So this is a great starting point for any new smokers out there. I highly recommend this stuff. Of course, you're going to need a lighter. And I use Bics most of the time. I have a Corona Old Boy. I have a couple other pipe lighters. But if I lose this, who cares? I recommend starting cheap like this. Now, I wouldn't recommend going too cheap on tobacco because, this stuff was like $15. Sorry for you guys in Australia. But this stuff was like $15 for me. And there's 30 or 50 bowls in there. I mean, it's cheap. I usually spend $10 per cigar. So to spend, 50 cents on a bowl's worth of tobacco, to me that is very inexpensive. It's a great way to go. Now let's move on to the packing. Everybody has their own packing methods, and different tobaccos pack differently, whether you have a flake, a plug, ribbon cut. But ribbon's the easiest to deal with. There's another great video on here if you wanted to learn how to pack each one of the different styles. It's done by Mike Howells on the New Age Pipe Smoking YouTube channel. So check that out if you want to learn to pack other styles. But for the beginner, I would stick with the ribbon cut. What I do is mostly just kind of gravity feed it. Like a third of a bowl, maybe a little bit more. And I don't push down. I just kind of flatten it, especially for the bottom layer. Bottom layer, you want it to be nice and loose. Put another layer in there. I like to do 3, maybe 4 layers. And again, not really pushing it down, just kind of flattening it out. We want each layer to be nice and flat so that it burns in layers. That'll keep it lit very well. The top layer, kind of carrot top it just a little bit. And then I kind of push inward. I don't know if you can see that or not. Instead of pushing down, I'm pushing more inward. Maybe a little too much on there, just... You know, if it's packed a little bit too loose, you can gently tap it down a little bit. But if it's too tight, you're going to have a heck of a time smoking it. So this is my preferred method for when you're smoking ribbons. And this is the way that I would recommend all new guys to start. Once you have that ready to go, I do what's called a false light, which is I kind of chief it at first, get a nice big cherry going on there, and then I gently tamp it out so that it's not smoking anymore, and then relight, and you should be good to go from there. Flatten that guy out just a hair. Now, a lot of the new smokers have a heck of a time keeping it lit. And, you know, I've been smoking for a while and I still relight. It's not a big deal at all. The key to keeping it lit is to keeping your cadence. How I learned how to do that well is smoking while driving. Because while I'm driving, I keep it hanging out of my mouth pretty much the entire time. And by smoking and driving, to me, that was my key to learning my cadence, to keeping it lit the whole time. If I'm with a bunch of buddies and we're all sitting around talking, well, I'm relighting all the time. If I'm driving in my car, I pretty much, light it, do my false light it back up, and I'm good to go for the rest of the trip. So the false light, pretty effective move. All of this stuff is pretty inexpensive. I mean, $15 for the tin of tobacco. Pipe cleaners are $2, $2 lighter, 99-cent tamp. Great way to get yourself started. Like I said, the ribbon cut English, that's going to help you in the beginning. You're not going to get tongue bite from something like this. The cob, nice and cheap. They do take a while to break in. And especially keeping the pipe in your mouth as much as possible. Because the more you're talking and fiddling around, the less likely you're going to be able to keep that lit for a long time. Now, the last and by far the most important part is always make sure you have some whiskey. Cheers. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. Hit like and subscribe.